I was born and raised in a funeral home, and I think living in a funeral home in Southern Ontario back in the 50s somehow inspired me to be, civic-minded and compassionate. I was very entrepreneurial as a kid, and one of the things we used to have, in addition to the funeral home, was the ambulance company. And I remember saying to my dad, what do we get paid for a funeral versus an ambulance call? And so he smacked me in the head, and at a different time you could do those things. But yeah, no, I think I always had an entrepreneurial bend. When I first came here, it was one of the first guys I met was Muggsy Forbes. And Muggsy said, you have to be a volunteer in this town or you're not going to survive. And that was the best advice I ever got from anybody. And so I actually did. I volunteered right from the get-go. I think Edmonton is so different than anywhere else in North America, and I'm fortunate because I travel all over the world. The volunteer spirit here is unique. And the other thing is, here you don't have to be a blue blood. You don't have to have lineage to, all you got to do is be prepared to roll up your sleeves and get involved. Like I say, I came to Edmonton, lived in subsidized housing, and no one said, well, you can't volunteer for this, or you can't, be on this board or that board. When I did all of these things and do all of these volunteer stuff, I always said that the family had to be involved. So if it's Don Rickles or Bob Newhart, my kids got to meet those guys. If it was President Ford, my son's got to meet them, and the family, was a huge part of all of that volunteerism. So the fact that that they've all turned out, knock on wood, so far so good. I think that's really the biggest accomplishment, to be able to have that balancing act where you can have a successful business, contribute to your community, and at the same time have your family, survive and prosper. That's probably the biggest accomplishment.